Hey, it's Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what we're going to cover are the best lures, best lures in my opinion, to catch flounder with. Now, flounder are one of those fish. I think we all know what a flounder looks like. You know, it's a very predatory fish, laying on the bottom, you know, usually with some sort of sand or gravel. They basically just blend right into whatever the surrounding is. They can change even colors, just like a chameleon or something could, you know, so some of those types of things. So they can alter and go lighter or darker depending on what's around them, which is pretty neat. But basically they're just a lying weight predator. They're not some aggressive type fish, you know, like a jack or a blue that's going to chase something around everywhere for the most part. So to catch a flounder, you got to get your bait close to them. Sure, I have had them swim up maybe 4 or 5 feet off the bottom and hit, you know, maybe a live mullet or a live shrimp or something. But for the most part, you want to catch a flounder, you want a bait to be within 2-3 feet of them, so they can go and get it. And they're also one of those things that'll just kind of follow it a lot of times. So you have it and it follows it and it follows it and follows it and then boom, finally hits it. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how to catch some flounder using lures. Okay, so best lures to catch a flounder with, in my opinion, are scented jigs, bounce on the bottom. That's number one. And number two are weedless spoons. Okay, so I'm going to give a commercial here to Gulp. This is what I use mostly. So I'll have a, you know, this is a shrimp one, a 3-inch shrimp. So I'll just hook a jig head on there, depending on, you know, current and things like that. But for the most part, it's going to be 1/8 or 1/4 ounce jig head. And, you know, so I have a light one almost always. And I'll have a dark one almost always because this is the root beer one. So I like to have a light and a dark. So if they're not hitting the light, I'll switch over to the dark and use that. And also I love a weedless spoon. So I'm going to give a pitch to who's this? This is Johnson Silver Minnow. So I love a weedless spoon. I like gold, but silver works pretty well with flounder too. So those are the lures that I would use predominantly if I'm going to fish with lures. You know, for a flounder, because, you know, most of the flounder I actually catch, you know, with a live shrimp or even a live finger mullet, you know, cast up somewhere where I think they're going to be. But if there's no bait around and you want to catch flounder, you're going to have to use a lure. So what are the keys to catching flounder? Flounder are kind of weird. They're very, very patient and slow and methodical as far as a hunter goes. You want to have a real slow retrieve. So I don't know if this is a very good artist rendition, but so the current's going this way, right? So you're going to cast up current and bounce it back to you off the bottom is what this is showing you. I hope you can see that. What a flounder is going to do, like here's some grass or whatever, and then here's a sandy spot. So what they're going to do is they're going to sit right there and might even cover themselves up with sand or something. So really only thing you can see is their eyes. And as this thing comes bouncing up over them, they're going to go whoop and get it. Now they love hiding by structure. So, you know, that structure, if there's nothing else, they'd be in the pothole by the grass flat. And here's another one. So say this is like just a big rock or a fallen down tree or whatever it is. So they'll be facing, again, always facing the current, and they're just waiting for something to come over there that they can eat. So you're really just bouncing on the bottom, and you're actually doing a really slow retrieve. They'll follow it, but you know, it's almost like bass fishing. You know, when you really, really want to work that worm, you know, for you bass fishermen, you want a real slow retrieve as that thing's going there, because the fish will follow it, and say, man, what is that? Am I going to eat that thing or not? And then boom. But they'll follow it for a while, a smart predator will. They want to make sure what it is first. You know, sometimes you can get a reaction bite, but a lot of times the bigger fish, especially, are pretty. They're pretty smart, so they really want to see what that is first. So here's why it's tricky to catch flounder. A flounder is going to go, and let's say that guy right there bit this. Well, just kind of hold it in its mouth for a second before it, sucks it down further in the gullet. So when you're doing it and you feel it and you think you have a hit, we're used to going wham and trying to set that hook real quick. But you do not want to do that with a flounder. What he's done is he's put it in his mouth like this. Here, let me get my little gold spoon out here. Because what the flounder has actually done is he's got it in his mouth like this, but he's just holding on to it. He hasn't actually taken it back in. So he's just got it right here. And if you set the hook, all you're doing is pulling it out of his mouth for the most part. So once they grab it, what I do is I'll count to 3 or 4. So I'll be like, okay, that felt like a hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. And then I'll set the hook. Because, again, they do not just, like so many things do. You know, when you're out there fishing and, it's a snook or something, and as soon as you feel it, and here it's got a 6-inch plug all the way down his throat because it hit so aggressively to swallow it. That is not how a flounder does things. So again, you feel the hit, it's probably just got this thing barely in its mouth. Make sure you give yourself a countdown. And it's hard too because you're excited. You're like, 1, 2, 3. Don't do that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my opinion on how to catch flounder. At least that's how I've caught my flounder over the years, is by using these techniques. And these are the best couple of lures I've found anyways to actually catch flounder. But you can find more of this information right on our website. It's www.fishyourassoff.com. We have a how-to section, a where-to section, a what-to section, videos, all kinds of information there. The bottom line is the website is set up to help Florida fishermen catch more fish, so we have a lot of very simple tips to help fishermen. So check it out. But I think that's it for today. I really can't think of anything else that I want to talk about as far as catching these flounder. But so I think that's about it. So until next time, we'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.